Hey guys, this is Chelsea. Welcome to my channel. Today I'll be reviewing Alien Romulus. This came out a couple days ago. It's a runtime of 2 hours and 2 minutes. And we have Kaylee Spaney as the star, as well as Archie Renault. So the two of them are the stars, and this takes place in space in the future. Of course, we know the Alien films. This is about a group of young adults, and they are on this really random space colony, and they find out that they're actually going to be forced to work in the mines. And so to evade that outcome and to let their parents, they discover this abandoned spaceship where they have cryogenically frozen pods, and they're thinking to go on those pods and to be hopefully shipped to different parts of space where they can see the sun and, like I said, avoid working in the mines, which sounds terrible. So we start off with action right away. They come up with this plan and they go right to onto that abandoned spaceship. And it's very reminiscent of the original Alien. We have, of course, the darkness of space, and it's very silent, and the only thing you can really hear are the aliens and the very loud, jarring alarms that are going off to remind them of their impending doom and possibly running into, and just their possibility of death overall. Kaylee Spaney's character is named Rain, and she very much followed her intuition throughout the film. I really love the sort of juxtaposition between her intuition and then the primal instincts of the aliens. It was like the aliens are trying to, of course, spread their seeds, spread their spawn, and to get all over space. And her job was mainly to follow her intuition, bring her brother to safety, and to get herself off the ship as well. I like this film because I felt like it did a good job of leading us a bunch of breadcrumbs for the mystery as to why this spaceship existed, what the motivations were for the company, for the aliens, but they didn't treat the audience like it was dumb. It's not like when they had a bunch of dialogue, they froze on a certain piece and were like bringing the audience to be like, oh, this is really important. They more so just had really good balance of dialogue, a really good balance of action. And I was so enthralled and so intrigued with the action and with the outcome of these people possibly getting off the spaceship that I wasn't really thinking about the mystery of why the aliens were there in the first place and what their motivations were. It was more so like I was distracted by the action that I didn't really think about the sort of suspense behind the company and why they had the aliens there in the first place. And there also was not a lot of jump scares, which I appreciated. Going into this film, I was like, ugh, I hope they don't just have that throughout the entire movie. And there definitely are a few, but I feel like it was more so suspenseful. I didn't feel like anything was out of place in terms of how the plot was changing or the situations that were happening. They all made sense. They all jive really well. And I found myself thinking like, oh my God, how are they gonna get out of this? How are they gonna get out of this? And it kept me on the edge of my seat the entire time. And I was, like I said, I was not guessing how they were going to get out, and I couldn't really have my mind in that mindset because I was really focusing on their survival just as much as they were. It's like the technology is their conduit to a better life, but they are also trying to avoid the systems that are in place behind technology, the systems that are trying to keep them under their thumb and trying to keep them working in the mines and not progressing themselves. So it's a really interesting relationship that the humans have with not only technology but also with the aliens. And there's this idea, of course, I feel like every movie has this idea of humans being too emotional and bringing in too much of like their heart and not being calculating enough and being cold enough in order to actually become new pioneers and to progress. But in this film, you have Rain, who does follow her intuition through and through. From the beginning of the film, she's like, she doesn't feel like she should be going on this mission, and there's things that are popping up where she's like, you know what, this is not something that I feel like we should be doing. I feel like this is going to be difficult. Of course, it's all internal for her, and we see this coming through her facial features where her apprehension is really showing through. And throughout the film, like, she has to follow her intuition without hesitation, without questioning it, because not only is she against time with this spaceship colliding with another apparatus and the aliens are on board, so there's all these factors that are honing in on her world and giving her more pressure and forcing her to make these quick decisions. But it's interesting to have her intuition come in, and then it's sort of being mirrored by the primal instincts of these aliens, because the aliens have their mission, and their mission is to grow and to have this sort of manifest destiny in a way and to really grow their species. right? So their instincts are very primal. They all have the same idea, they all have the same goal in mind, and she is following her intuition to bring as many people as possible safe to the other side and to get off of this spaceship. Anyway, they did a good job of paying homage to the original Alien, especially like when she had the helmet on. I was like, oh, okay, you're bringing in like the OG movie, which was really cool to see. Yeah, I really loved it. I feel like they did a good job of catering to, well, not catering to, but they feel like they did a good job of like giving respect to those who actually love the original Alien movies, because this is not just like an 80s movie, right? Like there's a very big cult following behind this film, and the culture that's behind it. I feel like if you messed it up and the production value was low, you would have like heard about it from the OG fans, you know? So I feel they did a good job of like honoring the old school, but also ushering in a new audience and a new group of people who can appreciate the film from here on out. Like when the credits rolled, I saw that there was like a section for the puppeteers, and I was like, wow, I didn't even like think about puppets being an option in this movie. For some reason, like that's just not an element that I thought would even like be something that would be involved. But now that I know that there were puppeteers, like I feel like that adds a whole different layer of creativity and artistry to this film, like having people in there with like the alien parts. And it reminds me a little bit of Evil, it's a really good TV show where they also have like a department that's just for making the demons and making the suits for them. So it was like very much in that sort of vein, and it just makes me like even more in awe of the talent that's involved in something like this, and like this production value is just insane. But yeah, I really loved it. I feel like as soon as it comes out on streaming, I'll probably watch it again, like at home, like some popcorn or something, you know. But and also the theater is pretty full, because I saw on a Saturday, the first opening weekend, and it's been a while since I've been in a movie where it's that full and like there's that much energy going through the theater. And it was just like really vivacious, and I feel like people were like very quiet throughout the film too, so it was like that sort of tension of not wanting to miss anything, which I feel like just really added to the overall experience of seeing Alien in a movie theater. And that's my favorite part of going to movies, is like being next to those people, being next to complete strangers, but you just like come together to really experience this artistry on the big screen. And that's like my favorite part of, one of my favorite parts of going to the theater and watching films and like getting to review them. I just feel like it's a really beautiful part of like my life, like this journey of like content creating, and like seeing a movie like this just really reminds me of how important this is to me and why I've loved films for so long, this passion for it. And so just seeing this in theaters just really reignited that and really reminded me of why I go to the theaters in the first place. So I know that's a really big note to end on. That's like a really big high praise for this film. Yeah, thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.